Welcome everyone to today's webinar, How FlowFuse Enables a Future-Proof UNS IT/OT Architecture. We're thrilled to have you join us today. I'm Indira Escobar, and I'll be your host for the session. Today's speakers are Quentin Stillen, Digital Manufacturing Consultant at Maker. Say hi. And Alejandro Simó, IT/OT Architect at Maker. So let's get started. Over to you.
All right, thank you, Indra. We will start giving a bit of an introduction of ourselves and our company, and then we'll go into FlowFuse and some case studies. But about myself, I've been working in the manufacturing industries for around 8 years now. And in the last 3 years with Maker, we've been focusing a lot in unified namespace and IT/OT integration projects. And now this is the area that I love and I work on every day. Now to Quentin.
Yes, I'm Quentin Stillen. I'm a colleague of Alejandro at Maker. A little bit less experienced than Alejandro in the manufacturing industry, but also already working 3 years plus in that industry. I had a focus earlier on ERP, and then also switched to the shop floor and IT/OT side. I'm currently focusing a little bit more on the functional side at Maker, both for IT/OT, but also for other types of projects that we do. All right, Alejandro.
All right. Yeah, so a bit about Maker. If you can go to the next slide. We're a company that delivers digital solutions in the manufacturing space, and we have 3 main areas of activities. One is doing processes and design, so that's more on the functional side. And we also developed applications and solutions like with FlowFuse platform, and that's perhaps also entering in the 3rd pillar, the Internet of Things and analytics domain, where we cover everything from the edge to the cloud. And we are active in all kinds of industries, from food and beverage to automotive, pharma, mining and metals, etc. And those are some of the clients that we have currently. And you can go to the next. So actually, we will go already to the IT/OT domain. So here we're just representing a little bit at a high level some of the standard architectures that we see when we arrive at a client. So it's kind of a traditional, simplified set of systems that we see in the factories and the enterprise with manufacturing. And so to go a little bit through the challenges that we see in this kind of architecture. First of all, I think you can click through, Quentin. So there's many different systems here that are not necessarily integrated correctly. So on the edge side or on the sides, we have different systems like MES and SCADA, and then we want to connect them to cloud systems, with many times with point-to-point connections. And there's a lot of data generated on the edge, and one of the challenges here is also to model that data properly, and that's where the data management comes in, and bringing in tools that allow you to do that exercise. So then traditionally, there's of course lots of manual processes, Excel sheets being used on the production teams to manage the work that they need to do, and that leads to data quality issues often. Sometimes because of manual processes, but also sometimes there's data being lost because of lack of proper systems that allow you to get that data from the edge to the cloud. There's also an important security component involved always in the manufacturing industry, and in the last months we've seen this the need for improving this to increase a lot. We have lots of requests from customers that are struggling a bit in this area, and it's typically caused by many point-to-point connections, difficult to manage systems that are old or not up to date. And finally, it's a complex and difficult to scale up architecture. So that's maybe one of the main reasons why many customers become also interested in a unified namespace. And that's what we're going to talk to a little bit more in the next slide. So to give you a little bit of a perspective, coming from historically the ISA 95 automation pyramid, that's how automation systems were designed to interact with each other in the past. We're talking perhaps around 20 years ago, maybe even longer. And essentially what's important to understand here is that systems were designed to communicate with the next layer of the pyramid directly, but not with not to skip one level of the pyramid, right? And nowadays we are evolving all around the world, not just in manufacturing, but everywhere, to an interconnected world where every system can communicate with every other system. And that rigid structure that only allows each system to communicate to the next level is not necessarily there anymore. We are bringing in lots of devices that can directly connect from the shop floor level to MES or ERP layer. And that's a challenge to manage, but it also brings you lots of opportunities. And on the right side, we see the unified namespace diagram, where the idea of this architecture is that we bring in a new system or entity that is also able to manage all these connections and provide a semantic layer that allows you to organize your data in a single source of truth. So if we go to the next slide, you see a little bit of the benefits of implementing unified namespace. So operational excellence, because it helps you streamline processes and also reduce manual errors potentially. Then it also provides you real-time insight into your whole enterprise. And this will allow you to access the data in real time and make better decisions, hopefully. And it's also a more future-proof architecture. It's easy to scale up and also ready for bidirectional communication from cloud, AI, or machine learning systems to the edge. And it's also very secure and compliant architecture that allows you to follow the necessary rules and implement governance structures. And to give you a little bit overview of the end-to-end data flow and what we do at Maker also is we start from connecting devices on the edge, and that's where tools like FlowFuse can come in. And then we typically use MQTT broker technology to collect that data into a single system, or to bring that data into enterprise systems via the single broker. And we connect typically systems like MES, historians, or data lakes. And the last layer, of course, is the analytics layer, where there is data processing or BI tools that allow you to visualize the data. And this diagram shows something a little bit closer to unified namespace architecture as we understand it. And it's a bit simplified, but the idea essentially is to bring in the cluster, the broker technology, sorry. First, on the edge side, that's a broker that is living on the site and is collecting data from a single site. And there's also a data modeling component, and that's where tools like FlowFuse come in, and they can help a lot in processing that data on the edge and then sending it to a central broker that is connected to multiple sites, and that is the one that relays the data to the cloud layer enterprise systems. And yeah, in the next slides, we will of course show a little bit more of this data modeling, how we do it with FlowFuse. So you will see soon. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask or reach us out after the meeting, and we will be happy to give you a bit more detail. But yeah,
All
so
right.
there were some there were
Yeah.
some text showing what I just explained.
All right. Indeed. Thank you for the introduction on the UNS part, Alejandro. I will shortly give a demo on how we indeed use FlowFuse as a platform to help our customers in their UNS journey. But maybe before I do that, I just will switch screens. Normally, maybe Alejandro, you can verify if I'm sharing FlowFuse currently.
Yes, it looks
perfect. Maybe I'll just want to give a short summary or an introduction, maybe for some of you, if you are not familiar or a little familiar with FlowFuse, what it is as a platform and some of the basic features. And then I prepared 2 flows for you to showcase how we can use the platform and Node-RED in practice, and how we sometimes apply it at our customers. So first things first, FlowFuse, the platform itself can be used as a central management tool above all your Node-RED flows. So it allows you to manage all the flows from one instance. And it comes with some built-in features such as versioning of your flows, which can be useful. It comes with built-in pipelines to push code from one flow to another. And it comes, for example, also with some role-based access. For the demo of today, I created an application, which is shown on the screen, which is called Webinar Demo. Typically, how we address our customers with the platform is for each use case that they have within their shop floor or in their factory, we would create one application within the platform. So for example, if a customer would have an energy monitoring tool, but also wants to have some protocol conversions managed by FlowFuse, typically we would create then multiple applications for that customer so that we can divide and easily manage all the flows that they have running in their production. Within these applications, we can then create different instances. So FlowFuse offers a flexible way of hosting your Node-RED instances. We can either choose to have them hosted in the cloud. So the hosted instances are running completely in the cloud, or we can choose to have also remote instances, which then translates to the local devices, things that are on the local systems or on the shop floor itself, where you want to also have the FlowFuse running. Not going into detail on the setup, I think Alejandro will later on give a short introduction on how to get started with both of these, but just know for now that we have the possibility to host our flows or our Node-RED instances very flexibly. It can also be a combination of the two, so anything that we want. What's also very useful are, for example, the built-in pipelines. Again, typically how we address our customers is we set up one instance, let's say for development, and then it can have like multiple production instances of a Node-RED. With the use of the pipelines, I just set up a very small example. We can push everything that's from the development instance directly to the production instance. Why can this be useful? This allows us to protect our production instances. We can put them in a protected mode so that no one can actually deploy any new changes or new flows on that instance. But if they want to have some changes, they always need to go through the pipelines. So we have some sort of a mechanism to make sure that nothing goes into production without being fully tested and proved. The platform also comes with a built-in MQTT broker. So on each FlowFuse team, I'm currently on our team maker FlowFuse platform, there is a team broker, which when opened, we can see we have 2 different tabs. So we have one tab where we can immediately see the topic hierarchy. So all the topics that are shown here are topics where things are being or where topics are being published to. And as you can see, for example, it was already open, but if I would browse into our Maker Gantt demo topic hierarchy, you can see on the right-hand side that the topic inspector immediately fills in the path of the topic, which I can then one-click copy and then use, for example, in a Node-RED flow to subscribe to that topic, or I can use it in any other use case that I might need it. Secondly, we have the client tab of the broker. This is where we can manage all of our client subscriptions. So every client or every system that wants to interact with our team broker can be publish or subscribe. We can create the clients directly into the platform. Each time that we create a client, we can assign some login credentials, which should be used then later on when we configure the connection. But we can also assign if a client should be able to publish and subscribe, only publish or only subscribe to our broker. We can also limit it by using or filling in the pattern to which topics the client can publish or subscribe to. We can also use the wildcards here known in MQTT to be able to limit to what the client can be can interact with. Now I have prepared two flows for you to showcase a little bit how this can work. First things first, I have a very simple Node-RED flow open where I just have up top a flow with 3 nodes. I configured an MQTT node where I connected to our team broker. If I open it in the configuration, you will see we connect to our broker.flowfuse.cloud, and we then also given the client ID that's created with the rights that's assigned to that client ID. And then we can also change some properties or assign some properties that are linked with the MQTT protocol, such as if we want to use a clean session or if you want to send BERT messages, bill messages. And so all those things can be configured into the nodes directly. For this demo purposes, I just kept everything simple and did not fill in any of these properties.
Okay. Sorry
yes.
to interrupt. We have a question that I think it will be good to answer now. And it's an anonymous attendee, and he says, or she said, how do you accommodate data that doesn't go through an edge device where the edge broker will be running? For example, where data is collected from a device that cannot be internet connected.
Yeah, I can get that one. Well, if the device is not connected to the internet, it doesn't have some kind of network connection, I don't think you can connect to it and get the data to it or stream the data out of it at least. But assuming there is some kind of network connection, but it's not the same as it's not possible to connect to the edge broker that is on the site. The data can go directly to an enterprise broker. So that's typically the solution. It doesn't need to, because the device is on the field, it doesn't necessarily mean that the data first needs to go to an edge broker and then it needs to go to an enterprise layer broker. We've seen this sometimes in devices that are in the remote locations.
I think we lost Alejandro for a second there.
Okay. There's another question. Maybe you can answer this one. Do you have test machines that connect only to your dev environment? How does your pipeline interact with the outside world when it moves from dev to prod?
I'm not sure I'm 100% following the question, but typically indeed we first we set up a development instance where we connect all the machines. And then typically with the use of versioning or snapshots, we can then choose which snapshots or which code we typically want to publish to the production. But it's also important to know that when we use the pipelines, not all the, let's say if you use environment variables, that not all the variables such as client ID or passwords will also be automatically transferred. So we can have a different setup of client IDs or ways of connecting to the production machines than to the ones that we use in testing. And it seems Alejandro is also back.
Yeah, sorry
now.
guys. Yeah.
No worries.
So I think that one is censored, so please resume what you were saying.
All right. So what I wanted to showcase with this very simple flow, I added a function in the middle where I just want to push something to our team broker just to showcase, for example, if I would browse again in our topic hierarchy, that you will see that even though if I publish now an empty topic with no value, it will be immediately available in the broker. And if there were a value attached to it, it's possible for other clients to subscribe to it and to use it. So I currently just successfully injected, and if I would reload our payload scheme, you will see that I also have a line 5 added now in the demo, which can then be again be subscribed to. The second part of this flow was just a basic again, configuration MQTT node where I subscribe to a certain topic, but I'm only subscribed to it currently and there's no value changing, so we don't have any output. I have a second flow created where we will update the topic where I subscribe to here. And then we will see in the debug note here that we can receive all the values once something is published to the specific topic, and that we can use it for further use, however however it is required. So jumping to the second flow that we have, I might need to give a little bit more of an explanation here. I already configured a lot of it because of timing issues, so we can go through it in full. But sometimes indeed we get questions from customers on helping them with modeling their data from different sources to help it structure it into a UNS structure. At Maker, we developed some custom nodes. In this case, I added 3 of those custom nodes where we are able to create a data model, just create a model, add some attributes in it, and then assign where the values from these attributes need to come from. To be able, in this case, to connect an OPC UA server, use that output from the tags into our data model, and then create a JSON structured message to be able to send it to our team broker in FlowFuse. First things first, in this setup, we should have an active subscription to an OPC UA server. In this demo, I just used a free online simulation server where I connected to, and then I subscribed to some of the tags. Once we've done that and deployed it, we would be able to see in our first custom node in the OPC UA selector that we can browse through all the tags that are coming from that OPC UA server. Everything that we see here will also be outputted as a message at the end of this flow, and put as an input in our data modeler. So all the values that are coming through in this from this selector can then also be used to link them to the correct attributes in our data model. Secondly, we create a data modeler where we can create, as I mentioned, a data model. I already created a model itself for a machine. So how we see it as a data model is like a digital representation of a physical attribute or of a physical device in the shop floor or on the factory. And we can create this by just adding a new model and then add all the attributes that are linked to that model. So in our case, we want to have a data model of a machine where we want to assign, for example, the machine ID, the status of that machine, if it's running or not, and so on. We can just add, as you see, the first 3 attributes, a single data type, but we can also use other data models to link them into the parent data model, let's say. So if you have some attributes or properties that can be reused by a lot of models, we can just add them in here, and then you can see we can select all the models that we created on the site to just be able to add all the attributes of the submodel directly into the model of the machine here. Each model can also have some instances, which in our case are like different machines. For demo purposes, they have very easy names, machine 1, 2, and 3. And particularly in this demo, I want to showcase machine 1 and 2, because each of these instances can have their own trigger, which will output the JSON file from our data modeler. Machine 1 has currently just a custom trigger, which will be this input node on the left-hand side, which will just be each time when I trigger it, it will send out a message. And then machine 2 is subscribed to the status of the machine in our OPC UA simulator. And we will only output any message or create a JSON to be sent to the broker once the status of the machine will be changing. I see.
Yeah.
You
see me, there's a question. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Victor asks, will these nodes be open source?
Currently, they are still in development at our site. There are still some things that we want to add to them. So currently, they are not open yet. No.
Thanks for the answer. Okay, there's another one. What is the typical throughput in Node-RED you've seen benchmark in terms of tags per second?
That's a good question. I don't have the number right now, but yeah, I can check it. Yeah, maybe I can check it really quick and send it back to you. Cool.
Okay. Thank you. And there's another one. How do we address enterprise connections with central broker? It says, do you accept API connections from other third-party systems? Examples include the data publishing from ERP, MES, CMMS, QMS, etc.
Yes, this is definitely possible with FlowFuse, and there's nodes that allow you to connect to all these systems via API.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all the questions for now, so please carry on.
Right, thank you. Then lastly, what I want to show, the third custom node that I added on the Node-RED editor are the receiver nodes, where we just say we want to receive the output of our data mapper for, in this case, I choose a data model, and then also select from which instance I want to receive the data. I only mapped the MQTT node on the machine 1 node. And so I receive a message from the data mapper each time I will trigger it from here. I will have a debug node 1, then I will put some logic also in this node to be able to send it to the correct topic, and then it will be published to the correct topic. I will just trigger it a couple of times and maybe show you how this looks like currently in a JSON file. So each time, for example, the custom trigger is now triggered, we send or we publish information to that specific topic. If I go back to my first flow where we subscribed to that specific topic, we indeed see that we have now 4 messages in our debug node with each time, for example, different value on our overall efficiency, but also a product count which is filled in on the conveyor belt. So that's how we can publish things to the broker and immediately subscribe to it from another client and use it in real life examples such as dashboarding or anything you want to do with that data. Secondly, as I mentioned, we also have the possibility to put some other logic in the trigger. I'm not sure in which status the machine was, so it was on stopped. So for example, I put it on running. You will see if we get new nodes in our data mapper or new information, but each time the status of the machine stays the same, nothing will change. It's only if we, let's say, put the status to stopped again, that a new output message will be created and that we would again publish this into the team broker in FlowFuse. That concludes a little bit my demo. I will switch back to the PowerPoint, and then Alejandro will talk a little bit more about some of the proven projects that we already did at Maker with FlowFuse.
Yeah, maybe before we do that, yeah, the question about the throughput. I see Joe wanted to answer it. Yeah, I'm not sure, Joe, if you want to give.
No, he's just marking it for you guys to answer live, which you already
Okay,
did,
okay.
but we're keeping it there until we get an actual answer, just
Okay,
as a marker for us.
so from our side, yeah, we've seen projects with more than 1,000 tags per second from a broker, but yeah, it could be higher, I suppose. But yeah, we've been doing a test with more than 1,000 tags per second and with no problem. Yeah, so going a little bit into some example projects that we've successfully done in the last years. They are actually all the examples we have are from food manufacturing industry. It's just a bit of a coincidence, but yeah, you will see that this can apply to other industries, of course. But yeah, this is a case of a client that had different sites, and in their case, yeah, not data insight from across plants, so to compare different plants, and focusing on increasing their efficiency. And we implemented a new end-to-end IT/OT architecture, so that included on the edge FlowFuse and on enterprise level a broker layer. And we also added in the production lines physical sensors that were needed for legacy production lines. So these sensors were on top of the production line. I think I have a picture later. Um, and yeah, this allowed them to collect more data and bring it into the historian and to their MES systems using the new architecture. And we also worked a lot on standardization. That's, I think, one of the biggest areas of our work, the standardizing the message formats, the payload formats, the protocols that are used. And in this case, we also worked a lot on this topic. And I think on the next slide, we have just a couple of screenshots. The bottom left, those are the sensors that we were mentioning, so just optical sensors that you can add on top of the line, and you can easily get the data that you need out of the production process. We also integrated Grafana dashboards in this case to visualize real-time data for operators, also set up alerting, etc. Just in the background, you see some of the Node-RED flows that we worked on, but we're not going to go into detail there now. If you have any questions or you want to know more, just reach us out afterwards, and we'll see if we can help you. And yeah, this is another project of a big scale unified namespace implementation. In this case, we started really from scratch with a company that had scalability issues with their current architecture, also security risks and lack of governance, data ownership and policies, and also just in general a missing end-to-end architecture. And the first step that we always do in this situation is to do an assessment. So trying to map out all the systems that are currently in place and trying to understand what are the challenges. So in this case, we cover the floor systems, SCADA layer, MES, historian, and also the cloud layer. And then we designed a new architecture that adapts to the specific needs. And yeah, in particular, part of this project included some FlowFuse implementations. That was a particularly interesting one because we had to work with a really uncommon protocol to get data from actually they were weighing scales and bacteria yeah, and we created basically a custom driver with FlowFuse that yeah, that is able to read and write data to these devices, and then we integrated we integrated with their MES system. So that was a pretty interesting use case. And yeah, this last one that I want to give you a brief overview. Also, it's in this case, there's the challenge was there were no insights into the production process again, but they wanted to focus more on the energy consumption. So it's also in the last years there was a lot of demand for energy optimization or energy management systems. And in this case, also by bringing in the IT/OT architecture based on the unified namespace concept, we are able to tackle these issues. And again, it's about connecting with MES layer applications. But in this case, we also developed an energy monitoring data platform and integrated with historian database. In this case, we used also HiveMQ enterprise broker and FlowFuse on the edge. And I think here we also have a couple of shots um, with where we actually used also, we can see a real hierarchy there on the right with the FlowFuse broker. So via the FlowFuse broker, you can also get the whole namespace, and you can browse through it. And here we also use Dashboard 2.0 to build some of the MES layer functionality. So you see there at the bottom one of the example dashboards that we developed. And again, just to give you an idea of how it looks like on the FlowView side, Node-RED. Again, if you have any questions or you want to know more or we can help you with something, please reach out and we'll try to help. Are there any questions about these slides, or should we move forward?
Well, I have a couple of questions.
Mhm.
Did you implement any use cases for regulated industries, and does your platform complies with 21 CFR Part 11?
I'm not familiar with the 21 CFR Part 11, but yeah, we have implemented use cases in regulated industries like pharma, for example.
Thank you for that. There's another one. Where do you typically enrich data, like using install parameters to calculate values in custom node-RED flows, the data models in the historian?
Yeah, that's a little bit part of what the demo showed. So over there on the edge, Node-RED flows, we can add some context to the data. We can apply the necessary data models, the payload formats, and add some metadata if necessary. So my preference is to do it on the edge, but it's not necessarily always possible, or in some cases, with like you're mentioning here, the historian on the historian side can add some context to the data also. But I would say the preference is to also to do it on the edge, on the using the Node-RED flows.
Okay, we have another question. Yeah, I think Joe will take care of that one. So you're off the hook. So please carry on.
It's a good question. Yeah, maybe Quentin, we can go to the last part of the presentation then. Yeah, just very shortly, getting started with FlowFuse is really simple. So as we were mentioning, we use a lot of edge instances, and to set them up through the FlowFuse platform, you just have to generate a one-time code and run it on your device. And from there, the rest of the management is done from the FlowFuse platform. So on the platform, you are able to open your Node-RED editor and run your flows and then deploy them to the edge. So also, if you go through the quick start guide, you will see it's really simple to start. And yeah, of course, once after starting, the first step typically is to set up a proof of concept or proof of value, setting up your flows instances to try to solve a real challenge or a real issue, and then that's a approach that we typically like to follow. So then once the value is proven, can start scaling up and expand to other parts of the site or to other use cases. So it's we try to follow a use case driven approach where we tackle use cases and then we prove that the solution is able to tackle that use case, and then we scale and expand to other domains. And yeah, lastly, about some of the challenges or some of our experience in the over the last years. So first of all, yeah, we see lots of different data formats and protocols in the IT and OT domains, and that's typically one of the challenges to bring everything together. And that's where tools like FlowFuse can come in and really help a lot. There is also on the OT side, data is often raw and structured and missing context. Coming back to one of the questions, because indeed that's one of the biggest challenges, and yeah, we believe that using tools like FlowFuse can also tackle this issue. And also, of course, there's sometimes massive amounts of real-time data. And I think on one side, you want to perhaps balance and see really how you can optimize and see how to manage this massive amount of data. But the truth is that the modern systems that we are using nowadays are also able to deal with really large amount of data. And that's also why we try to bring in new architectures with modern technologies that are able to deal with this. And if we see also some of the challenges that come in, like data silos, does make it difficult to create a single source of truth. This yeah, also one of the challenges that are most common, the data silos or systems that are not connected. Also, IT systems sometimes struggle to interpret the data correctly, so that goes back to adding the correct context. And also sending the raw data can cause performance issues or high storage costs, so that's where optimization can play in. And things that we recommend to do is implement a semantic data layer via unified namespace, ideally. And yeah, we also recommend uh, putting effort in managing metadata and good naming conventions and enforcing those naming conventions and data validation rules. That's really useful in the long run and for scaling up architectures. And also using edge computer to do part of this job, and also to filter, aggregate, and pre-process data. That's also a big help to scale up and to manage your whole IT/OT domain. So do you have something to add here, Quinten?
Nope, nothing from my side still to add.
No, I think yeah, then we're almost at the end. Okay, use unified namespace.
Yeah, still have
And let's see if there are any other questions that we can answer before we finish the session, right?
Okay, another one. Does UNS concept applicable for multi-site applications?
Yes, here, well, I understand multi-site applications as, for example, yeah, an MES system that sits on the enterprise layer and it's connected to multiple sites. And yeah, absolutely, unified namespace is also meant to integrate data from multi-site applications. I think that's one of the goals of unified namespace is to you have to understand it as an architecture that allows you to bring all the data through a broker technology and map it, build a namespace that allows you to know in real time what's the status of all your systems and all your data. So and to also get that data live into any side of the enterprise. So multi-site multi-site applications are definitely covered.
Okay, we have another one. Have you investigated FlowFuse and MCP connection to AI agents?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I really interested in the AI world and agents, and it's I think one of our pending tasks perhaps to investigate more how we can use FlowFuse connect to AI agents. I can look if I see some potential use cases and maybe come back to you. But at the moment, I have to be honest. Don't have a real running case or investigation integrating AI agents with FlowFuse.
I'm just going to add a little bit to that. I was going to answer it as a
Okay.
test, but the chat's not letting me type an answer after I've said that you can answer it live. So if you go to FlowFuse on LinkedIn, just follow us. There may or may not be resources coming out in the next couple of weeks about that. I'm actively working on some stuff in that space. So a lot of my day job, so I'm Joe, I'm answering lots of the questions in the chat. My day job is mostly focused around FlowFuse dashboard, and we have a new chat widget coming out for that with dashboard where you will be able to actually integrate directly in with AI agents, or even just using AI agents within a kind of not front-facing workflow as well. And so yeah, that's definitely something that we're looking at quite a lot.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Joe. There's another one. I don't know if you, Joe, want to take this one. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll be wrapping this up. So thank you very much, Quentin and Alejandro. This has been insightful. And of course, thank you everyone for joining us today. If you'd like to reach out and talk about your projects and how FlowFuse can help, just say so in the survey or fill our contact us form in our website and our team will be in touch. So yeah, you can also contact Quentin and Alejandro directly. And we hope to see you in future webinars. Have a wonderful day ahead and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.